morning, everyone. Welcome to Daybreak. I'm your host, Nicholas Sadowski, and we have an amazing show today. Two great guests. Let's get started with the show. So, this is the last weekend, sort of summer for kids. Teachers have already been in school preparing for the return of children, but now they actually return. For me, we return on Wednesday, and I think for other schools around Massachusetts, they also do that. I'm not sure what happens in like Connecticut or Rhode Island or like states way out west. But I know that here in Massachusetts, we return Wednesday into a hybrid model of schooling. So basically, parts of the week or 1 week, the children are in school, and then either parts of the rest of the week or the next week, the children are out of school. And it flips. Sometimes there's two cohorts, which alternate days, like my school does. Some of them is like Monday is one cohort, Tuesday is the next, Wednesday everyone's home, then it repeats like that. So some people, but it's all a hybrid model for kids. Now, I've talked to a couple people. They're a little scared for it. They don't know how it's going to work. Some people think that immediately we're just going to shut down when one COVID case happens. But I am very, very excited to get back to school. I talked to a teacher at my school saying this is the first year where she's had kids saying they're excited to get back into the school building. And this is true. We were very, very excited to get back. Last year was a disaster when it came to our schooling. We lost like a month of learning, and then the schedule was all off. We didn't know what was happening. Now we have a plan, and we have backup plans in case things go wrong. I don't know about other schools, but we do. And so I'm very, very excited to return. So let's celebrate this last weekend of freedom here on Daybreak. And one reason why I don't want to do a hybrid or a remote is because I'm terrible with technology. How I made this work, I don't know, and it's a miracle. Grace says, what's up? The lighting, let me tell you, the audio was the most difficult thing to do with this show. And if you watched last week's show, the audio was terrible. It's just, I made a video explaining why that is. It was just off the rails, so I gotta, but it's a miracle that this at all works and is mildly successful, so let's enjoy it together here today. So, everybody, let's welcome my first guest. She is a great graphic designer. I'm sorry, not yet, apparently. We're going to have Suyasha Athuluri go last today. We will be flipping the tables. We'll have Kathryn Mahoney go first. So my first guest is an old friend, a master skier, and a great person. The wonderful Kathryn Mahoney to Daybreak.
Hi, Nick.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am great. Sorry for the little bit of confusion at the beginning there.
No,
but
it's
we'll be
fine.
going first today.
Okay, cool.
We will still do the game with you, so we'll have just Suyasha go last. So you do skiing, and I lived in Dover, Sherborn, and a lot of people do skiing there, and they all say that I always hear them talking about they always go to Vermont, or they always do it over winter. Sometimes do it in the summer, and they just go up to Vermont to have fun. And they always ask me why I don't do skiing, and I always have that textbook response: I don't want to get injured. I don't want to go into a rock or something.
Oh, yeah.
Was that something that you were worried about when you first started skiing, the possibility of getting injured?
Well, when I first started skiing, I was super young, so it didn't really occur to me that I could get hurt. Right. But I've gotten hurt. It's not been fun sometimes. I once broke my wrist while skiing, which wasn't too great. But yeah, skiing, despite falling and stuff, if you fall the right way, falls can be really fun.
Yeah. Was skiing your idea in the first place? Did you want to do skiing, or did the friends say you should try this, we do it together, or your parents say you should do more sports or something? How did you get into skiing?
Skiing, it was kind of just my grandparents, they have a condo in Stratton, Vermont, and so we kind of just went there every weekend, and that's where I learned to ski. It's just a ski family, I guess.
Do you ever go on trips with friends up to Vermont to go skiing together? Or?
Yeah, we bring some of our friends up to Sugarbush with us, and sometimes I go to other mountains with other friends, which is super fun.
Is Vermont the only place you've gone skiing, or do you sometimes go to New Hampshire, or I don't know if there's any of the mountains there, but
Yeah, I've skied a lot of mountains in Vermont, and then I've skied sometimes in New Hampshire. But my aunt, she lives in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which is like one of the biggest ski resorts kind of in the US. So we go there most Februarys to visit her and ski.
yeah, I've heard a lot of people say Jackson Hole is the best. So,
Yeah.
um, what kind of so I don't ski, and what I'm just assuming ski equipment is it's the actual skis like shin pads and elbow pads, and do you have to wear a helmet, or what's the equipment that you need for skiing?
For just fun skiing, you just need like stuff to keep you warm and a helmet mostly. If the stuff you were talking about with the shin guards and like the elbow pads or the wrist guards, they kind of that's for like alpine skiing, which is more with the gates, which is more like you have to hit them really hard when you go
Okay.
to get close to them. And I don't really do that. I did like alpine skiing for Dover Sherborn this winter, but it was a real time commitment, so I'm not sure I'm gonna do it again.
So you did do the competitive skiing, but just this year. You didn't do it in the past.
No, this was my first year, so I'm new to it.
Besides the time commitment, how did you like it?
It was fun. I did it with Riley Delaney.
Oh, okay.
But she's not going to do it this year, so we'll see if I do it. But it was fun. You got to ski just midweek, like which was super cool with these small mountains, but it was still fun.
So you said you did get injured skiing once. And when I'm trying to assume how skiing goes, I tend to think of it being similar to rollerblading or ice skating, because you have to balance on the 2 feet. How similar is it to those?
You know, people in the summer, they train for skiing by like they get these different types of rollerblades where they're like ski rollerblades, but it's very similar actually. It's kind of like going downhill.
Okay. And so you're actually on the snow and ice. My dad once got me a snowboard, and that did not go well. I could not stay. I stood up and just fell face forward.
No.
How hard is it to balance on the skis? Because they're thin. They're just the width of your feet, but they're super long, and you're on slippery slopes and everything.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to balance on those?
Well, it's like anything. Once you like keep practicing and do it over and over again, it gets a lot easier. But like as a little kid trying to learn, you have to have this little thing that holds your skis together so you don't like go like do a huge split and slip and die. So
and is that what the poles are for, to help you keep the ski poles?
yeah, the poles they're mostly for like your upper body balance, because you just want to like you pole plant where it's like you just put it, I don't know how to explain it, but they're mostly there for your upper body balance, which will just keep you from going all over the place, I guess.
And we actually have an audience question, so if you feel comfortable answering this, how expensive is it to get all the equipment required to go skiing? Like, what expenses are required to do that?
Well, it's like you need like snow pants and a coat, obviously. And the boots and skis and poles, I would say they can be expensive, but we usually rent them for the season, which is less expensive. So maybe it's like $150 for a season.
It's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
And again, to the audience, if you have a question for either of our two guests, please feel free to put them where there's it looks like cards with a question mark in the middle. You can put your questions there, and I will ask her the questions. When did you start skiing?
When I was super little, so maybe 3 or 4.
Wait, what? You started skiing at 3 and 4?
Yeah, that's like usually, yeah.
Wow. I would not be able to do that at 3 and 4. How do you I'm trying to imagine. So what would you do at that age if you're trying to start skiing at 3 and 4?
Mostly my parents, they'd just be like, all right, go to ski school, drop you off, and then the instructors would take you down bunny hills till you're all right at it, until you can stand, technically.
When did that happen for you?
Trying to remember. I feel like the first time I felt like I was actually good at skiing or actually fast at skiing was probably like around 9, maybe, or 8. Because we had gone to Singapore for 2 years when I was 5, so I got a little break. There's no skiing there.
How was your trip to Singapore?
It was interesting. It was fun though. I don't remember a lot because I was young, but there.
Was it your first time out of the country, or did you?
Yeah, it was my first time out of the country. We lived there for 2 years. So coming back to Pine Hill, that was fun. But I already knew some people. So.
I know you said you don't remember much, but when you left, did you think you were going to come back? Did you know that you were going to come back after 2 years, or did you think you were going to stay there?
I really had no idea. I was like 5, so I wasn't a real big fan of change, so I didn't really want to move. But then coming back, I also didn't want to move back because I had adjusted, you know.
Yeah. That can really be difficult, especially, I mean, moving itself is difficult. I remember moving from DS to here was difficult for me. I had to leave everything behind, all the music and everything. But, I mean, moving to a country and leaving all that behind in a separate country, then moving back to your country, but leaving that entire country's experiences behind, that must be very difficult, especially for like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I think it was more difficult on my parents leaving their families in America, dragging like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and like my sister, she was probably 3 or 2 at the time, so that probably wasn't fun for them, dragging them across the world.
If you don't mind me asking, why did you leave for Singapore?
My dad's job, he worked for this company. I forget what it's called, but he was just, they just wanted him to move, I guess.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, every time we've moved, it's because of work. So I started in Hanson, which is like next door to this town, basically. Maybe a couple towns over. Then I moved up to Westford. We had TJ Bonnick on from that town. He was my best friend. Then I moved to DS. And then I moved back here. So it's kind of like a full circle. But we've always moved because my mom has got a position at a company which was based in, I can't remember where it was based. I think it was in Hanover or something. Then it was in Concord. Then it was somewhere near DS. I'm forgetting where. And then now it's in Ireland. So yeah, it seems to be that a lot of people move because of where their job is, which is good because you don't want to commute like 5 hours to get to your work or a plane trip across the world.
That's true. It's difficult. So.
And you said that you got to get back to the conversation. And you said you got a break from skiing when you were in Singapore. Did you ever miss skiing, or would you like, okay, it's like a vacation for 2 years, you get a break from the whole cold and getting all this gear strapped on and everything?
I liked the warmth. Yeah, it was nice. But we would come back like around Christmas to go skiing.
Oh, that's nice.
With my family, yeah. So we got some skiing in, but not as much as we would.
I would imagine that you wouldn't miss this crazy New England weather when you're in.
I don't know. It was kind of hot in Singapore.
Yeah.
So I like the cold.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting is with the cold, in my opinion, and it's always better than when it's hot, because when it's cold, you can just put more stuff on, or you can turn up the thermostat. When it's super hot out, there's only a level to where you can take some stuff off. You can't then go further. So you just keep putting on coats and coats until you get warm. So that's good with the cold.
Exactly.
Heat can be really difficult. And it has been so hot here recently.
It has been here too.
It's felt like the hundreds. It's been like killing me. I would move to Vermont just for the cold.
Yeah.
So you said that there is a resort in Wyoming, and you've gone to New Hampshire and Vermont. Have you gone anywhere else besides those two places to go skiing?
Not really. I mean, yeah, a few places in Wyoming, a few in Vermont, and then one in New Hampshire. So, and I've skied a little in Massachusetts.
Where in Massachusetts?
It's like Ski Ward and Blue Hills, because Dover Sherborn, that's where we go weekdays to ski and practice alpine. Yeah.
And you just said when you started and you were learning how to stand and things on the skis, that you went down, was it called Bunny Hills?
Yeah, the little.
When, and so was it after 9 where you started doing the big hills, or did you sort of level up to then go down the big hills?
I mean, like, we would go down the big hills as kids, as like little kids too, but we weren't very good at them. And then like once around like 7, 8, 9, we start getting better at it. It's kind of just takes time to learn.
Yeah.
But
and I personally love roller coasters. I will go on it. I will go on almost any roller coaster there is. When we went to Disney, I've done every roller coaster in Disney. I did not do the Rip Ride Rocket in Universal. I missed out on that one though.
Oh, that's too bad. That one's
fun. With skiing, you probably get that sensation of being on a roller coaster going down a hill. So how has that transferred to you for going on every single roller coaster you come across? Have you gone on the Rip Ride Rocket?
Well, it's a lot warmer on roller coasters, but skiing, you get that, like, sometimes if you go over, like, you're going super fast and you go off like a jump or something midair, I get like that stomach drop, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Really,
love that.
I'm not very good at jumping, but you'll get that feeling and it'll be kind of like a roller coaster. So yeah.
Yeah, you probably have experienced skiing roller coasters per se. Probably more scary than a lot of Disney roller coasters, because I think the scariest roller coaster there is in Disney is probably Mount Everest, which isn't entirely that scary. So I think you've probably trumped all of Disney's.
Yeah, I'm more of a Universal person.
Yeah. We went to Universal, and we thought it was going to be full of like actual roller coasters, and there were a few, but there's a lot of 3D roller coasters now. Like there's a Star Wars one, and it's all just like 3D animation, but it's really realistic, but it's all 3D.
I like the Simpsons one. There's like those ones with the Simpsons. It's funny and scary.
Have you gone on the Jimmy Fallon has a ride there?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I think it's similar to the Simpsons one actually. It's basically he's racing you through New York and you're in the 3D thing that shakes and it's really cool. But yeah, if you haven't done that, I recommend that one.
Okay.
And our last question for today: what is the largest hill or mountain you've skied down?
Well, like the toughest trail.
Sure.
I'd say, well, there's this like one at Jackson Hole. It's called Corbett's Couloir, and it's like practically a cliff. So there's like a huge rock face here, and then there's like a little like slip kind of thing that you have to go in, and it's super steep.
Wow.
And you have to turn really quickly here before you hit this rock face and like really hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And so I did that. We did it this year actually when we went, and it was really scary. It was like kind of sitting on my bum sliding down, and it was scary. But then once you're in the like rock face thing, once you get down this slip thing, it's just like a regular black diamond, which was fun. But
I feel like ski resorts intentionally make them so that you could get seriously injured. Like
people have been.
Like, why would you do that to a person? Just let them have fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're out of time for the interview, but I do have a fun game for you that I will be playing right now.
Okay.
I played this game with Grace Mahoney when she was on the show. It's called What Is It? And I apologize for me blocking it, but basically the way it works is I will show you parts of a picture of something that it's a familiar thing, and you'll have to guess what the full picture is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right, and you get 2 guesses, and I can give you 2 hints.
Okay.
All right, the first one is this. Again, sorry I'm blocking it.
Is that the Amazon logo?
Indeed.
Okay.
All right, the next one.
Oh boy. It looks like some sort of rocket in front of a bridge.
Yes. Well, it's not a bridge, but yes. It is Falcon 9 launch, and that's I'm blocking it again. It's the tower.
I can see it.
These are fairly easy. The next one should be, after this one, should be pretty difficult.
Oh gosh, I'm like terrible with buildings. Is that the White House?
Oh
my God. Is that the Capitol?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it is white. So I'll. All right. The next one. This one I highly doubt you'll get, because if I just looked at this, I probably wouldn't get it either. But it's. Yeah.
Is that like Lego?
They are Legos. Do you want to guess the set, or do you just want to leave it at Legos?
I'll just say like Harry Potter. I don't.
So this is actually your last answer. This is the White House.
Oh. Okay, I was close.
I've never seen this model before. It looks really good. I want to get it now. All right, and the last one we have. You probably will be able to get this, but maybe probably gonna be blocking it again. But if I am blocking it, I'll tell you what it looks like. There we go. Okay.
Okay, I have no idea.
You can ask for 2 hints.
I'll take a hint.
Okay, so it is in France.
In France. Okay. Is it the Notre Dame?
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is. Bravo. My face is blocking that part of it, so this is the back part of the building.
Yeah.
So that is So we had Amazon, SpaceX Falcon 9, U.S. Capitol, Lego White House, and the Notre Dame of France. So that is our game. I hope you had fun. I did this game with Grace Mahoney, and her dad actually kept yelling up the answers to her from their living room, so she kept getting answers, and it was like, nah, that's not how the game works. But I hope you had fun. I hope the audience had fun. And remember, the audience can always play at home during the games. So, but thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for coming on earlier than you were booked for.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Should I just
X
out? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. All right, so that was my interview with Kathryn Mahoney. Now, our first guest was supposed to be Suyasha Athuluri, and now we have her as our second guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the graphic designer of Dover Sherborn, assistant writer on a show that we had Grace on before, and a great person. Please welcome Suyasha Athuluri.
Hello, I'm here. Sorry, I was late. I was very confused. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. We've had an experience before where someone just didn't at all show up. They just overslept, so missed the show. So we had Riley on for 45 minutes.
Oh God, Riley.
Yeah, but
wow.
She liked it. I hope she liked it. She seemed like she liked it. But yes, thank you for showing up. So currently, this is going to be a great interview because I'm a part of the show of which we'll be talking about. So I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'll just be asking you questions about it. So currently, there's a new show being produced and written directed by Grace Mahoney and Ben Gaynor. It's called The Watchers. And you designed the logo for this show. Was there inspiration for it? What was your goal with the design for it?
Well, people requested a triangle, and that's basically all I got. And we went over some font styles, and that's pretty much it. So Uh, I just did a bunch of random things with triangles and that particular font, and like we got it. That's how the logo was designed.
Um, did you have before the whole triangle thing was just there you go, make a triangle thing. Did you have an idea in your mind of what you might have wanted to look like before that existed?
Um, Now that I think about it, I really didn't. Like it was kind of a last minute thing, right? People said, "Oh, we should have a logo." And I was like, "Oh, I know what we could well, I'd be able to do the logo." And then they were like, "Oh, we want a triangle." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll get a triangle." And that's basically how it went.
Yeah, I've been in the meetings where we've talked about things, and it's basically just that. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm a part of the
it's
show.
something.
Yeah, so I'm a
Yeah.
part of the show, as I said before. But do you play? If you can say this, I'm not sure if Grace will let you say this, but do you play any character? You don't have to name their names. You don't have to say what shows they're in. But do you play any characters in the show?
I play a character.
I'm I'm not going to ask who it is because I don't want to give away anything. And besides for logo designer and actress in the show, do you have any other positions in the Watchers, either cast or crew or anything?
I'm a writer, so I write the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grace. Okay, so I know Grace is writing. We'll have a discussion about this, but is writing the first episode. I'm writing the second, and you said that you might want to do the third.
Hmm.
I'm very excited to see the script for, and I know that when the audience, I will definitely link when it comes out the show to this video. But when do you have any idea of when the show could be released, either on YouTube or on any streaming platform to the public? Just, you don't have to give a specific date, just maybe a year that you think of.
It won't be released for a while because of Corona, and we can't really film like this
Right,
kind of genre while socially distancing.
right.
So it might be a while, but in the meantime, we'll get a really solid script and we'll have great actors and everything will be set in place for when we start filming. So yeah.
Um, yeah, I've talked with Grace extensively on the filming part of it, and yeah, she said that because of the way the show is written, we can't do it during social distance time. So, um, do you guys?
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Do you guys have regular meetings to discuss the script, or do you just sort of write it in privately, and then when it's all done, you meet together and then just present it?
Um, well, we kind of do both. Like we have a set writer for each episode. So that writer kind of just puts down all their ideas on paper, and then we meet up as a group and discuss like the script that we have so far.
Right.
So yeah.
I know that you guys are going to have a meeting very soon to discuss this upcoming script. Um, and this is a question that I feel like a lot of people in the audience are going to be wondering why, and even if you watch the show, I think you'll be wondering why. Why is the show called The Watchers?
Um, it's called The Watchers because there's this, I guess, general theme of kind of like people watching other people,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like goes around in a circle. Like this group of people watches this other group, and this other group is watching this group, and that's why it's called The Watchers.
And this is sort of a crime drama uh, genre of TV, right?
Hmm.
And you were, I remember when I got brought in later, so I don't know when you were brought in, but the original show was brought into inspiration by the Mac and Brett show, which Ben Gaynor had along with people like Oliver Morgans and Grace Maroney actually started an episode in that series. And then there's the new Mac and Brett show, and so Grace took the Mac and Brett show and used that to inspire the Watchers. And I know the actual name is called the Mac and Brett Show Presents the Watchers. So Grace was part of the original people, Ben was part of the original people, Oliver Morgans and a couple other people. Were you one of the original people, or were you brought in later to help with the cast and crew?
I was brought in later. I was not one of the OGs. I volunteered to help out with writing, and then later that turned into logo designing. And I'm playing like a minor character, even though I can't really act. But that's the deal. Yeah.
Well, don't be too hard on yourself because, I mean, this is created by high school students, so it's not going to be some Netflix production. Grace keeps telling me it's not going to be Netflix. Don't work so hard,
Yeah, don't work so hard, Nick.
seriously, it is a high school thing. So if you're not great at acting, don't worry. You're not going to get an Emmy for it or anything. So you'll be fine. And from what I've seen so far, it looks really, really good. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
seen the acting, and I won't see it because I don't live there. But from what I hear in the script readings, the entire cast and you included do a really good job with reading it and helping out. So congratulations to you on getting the part and helping out with the script.
Thank you.
What do you think is the next move for the show?
Currently, we are still like in the process of writing, and we really need to get these characters down. And there's also other things that we need to think about, like who exactly is going to be playing all of these characters that we're going to introduce. So yeah, we are still like more towards the beginning than we are towards the end, but it's going pretty well, I think.
So you said you're more towards the beginning. When was the beginning? Like when did the show actually start to come together? Like when did Grace and Ben actually start? Okay, let's make a show and let's have a meeting. If you don't know, that's fine. But
I gotta say, I don't really know because I was not brought in. Oh, I was not brought in until later. So I don't know all the details of how exactly it started, but yeah, I volunteered to come in as a writer, and now we're here. So yeah.
Grace is commenting while you're speaking. She's just like she's writing all and hi and things.
She's texting me. She's like spamming me. Oh, there. Yeah.
So episode 1, I know, is nearing completion. Episode 2 is also nearing. Oh, guys, it keeps commenting. It's also nearing completion.
Mm-hmm.
Low high. Okay, low high Grace. When do you think? How many episodes will be in season 1? Do you
That's a hard question. I don't really know. As many as it takes to like tell the story in a like not in a good way, I
right.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went over this in Grace and Ben's. Grace is just.
Grace, shut up.
The question mark keeps having notifications come up through my screen. I'm like, I can't see her face. I keep having
Grace, come on, man.
meant for questions, not comments. And this is really distracting me. We went over this in Grace and Ben's interview in season. It might have been 4, might have been for late 3. And they told us the story. Would you mind explaining the story of the show one more time, so that in case it's changed, Grace, in case it's changed since then?
Okay, so do you want like spoilers and all, or what exactly are we going for?
Like, sorry, just the basic. What's the main plot? Not nothing.
Okay, so
Specific episode, just overall, what's the plot? And Grace, I'm not looking at that.
so our main plot is we have our 4 main characters, and they all have like different strengths. They're all like geniuses in their own way. And then you have our villain, and he's always like messing up their lives, and he's doing like really villainy things. So our main characters have to solve the crimes and solve the mysteries and get closer and closer to like the truth, I guess. So yeah.
So you it seems like you've gone for sort of a. I was gonna think of a show, but now I'm blanking on it because Grace keeps notifying me.
Grace. I'm gonna yell at her later.
Yeah, please do. Okay. I have one question from one person, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 comments just saying, ha ha ha, hi, bro. It's meant for questions. That's why there's a question mark. Yeah, it's really distracting. Like if you're sitting where I am, you're just seeing red dots come up all over the screen. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Were you aware of the show before before you were offered a position in the cast?
I wasn't aware of it. Like, I was just kind of FaceTiming Grace, our director, and she was talking about it, and I'm like, wow, that seems really interesting. And we kind of just went from there. Like, I proposed, I offered my talent, I guess, as a writer. Um, and we're moving forward now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So were you? So when you're aware of when the Watchers started, did you know what the Mac and Brett show was?
I didn't know what it was at first, but like since that's been kind of the starting point for all of this, um, I was made aware, I guess.
Hmm. Grace starred in an episode of the Mac and Brett show, which I watched, and the filming was the actual filming itself was good. Um, do you know who will be doing the filming in this? Will it be the same person, or will someone else be actually holding the camera? Yeah.
I have no idea, man. We're just doing the script now. Um, I'm not like a filmmaker, so I don't know all of the technicalities and the terms for that. But yeah, it's very like the filming aspect of this is not very like solid at the moment. So
Well, you're not filming yet,
yeah.
so that.
Yeah.
Do you know the filming locations, like where you will likely be doing your filming?
We're probably going to be doing them at school and Medfield State Hospital. I think we talked about filming there, and even like open fields, maybe, because that's pretty ideal for a show like this.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that is, yeah.
So for our audience who does not know where those places are, if you don't live in Dover Sherborn, Medfield State Hospital is a closed down old state hospital with a bunch of brick buildings and a field behind it and everything. It's located in Medfield, Massachusetts, and they're talking about Dover Sherborn High School and campus.
Oh, yeah.
Um, with filming at school, I would imagine that that'd be pretty difficult to get a location that doesn't have students that do it all the time. So, like even after school, there's always kids who stay after school to get help or something. With filming at school, have you thought out where you could do that in a place where you won't be disturbed by other people, or maybe just using that to your advantage to make it seem more realistic? Do you know how that will work?
Um, I don't know, man. It's very unclear at the moment, but that is kind of like a common point that most of the people in the crew have. And it's something that we all know, and we've all been to school, obviously. So, like, it's kind of a given that we would film there, you know? About the distractions about other people, like, going there for extra help and stuff. I don't really know. Maybe we'd be able to find like a day where you can just go and there would be nobody there. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure about everything just yet.
Great.
So.
Great. Actually being helpful with her commenting this time. She's saying that you guys will be filming on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Now, Grace, I actually have a comment for you. If you film on Sundays, make sure you do it after Daybreak, because if you don't watch my show, I'll be very sad. I mean, I only have 5 people watching in the morning, and you're like one of them. So I want to keep my viewer rate at least 5. And this will probably be the last question of this interview. What are you most excited about or to see when it comes to The Watchers?
I'm I really like fell in love with these characters that we created, so I'm really excited to see them like portrayed by the actors on screen because they're all like so amazing, really. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see this all come together because I know what a process it's been. The
Yeah.
crew and just the just trying to get along. It's gonna be like a breath of relief just when this is all over. But it's gonna look amazing when it's done because you have great writers, including you. You're an amazing writer. I mean,
Thank you.
I've looked at the things you've done, and you've made me and Grace, who are writers as well. We don't write like normal people would speak, but you help fix that to make it sound like normal speech. So I sound a little bit robotic, and she's very grammatically correct, but not everyone speaks grammatically correct. So you're there to help fix that.
Yeah, we love dialogue. So, yeah.
So
Uh,
Grace just commented. Grace and I. Yes, you're correct. I'm not very good with grammar.
wow, Grace.
No,
I'm definitely yelling at her later.
I need to learn that because I know it's that person and I just keep saying me and this person. It's just a habit. I need to break it. But that unfortunately is all the time we have. I will link Grace and Ben's episode in the description of this video. So for those of you who want to watch, the directors talk about it. But thank you, Suyasha, for coming on as a writer to discuss your take on the show. And thank you to Grace for the extra commenting in my questions.
Thanks, Grace. Really helpful, you know.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Suyasha.
Thank you. Do I go now?
Yeah, it's just the X in the corner.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, so that was my interview with Kathryn Mahoney, Suyasha Athuluri, and kind of Grace Maroney, who keeps commenting. She's still commenting in my question system. Stop commenting. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I will try to remember Grace and I always forget that. It's just a habit, but I will fix that. I am going to try and get actually some new ties maybe soon so I can change up my rotation. I've worn this outfit twice. The other one I think I've worn 3 times from last week, but I like it so. But I'd like to thank everyone for commenting and for watching and for coming on the show. If you want to watch Grace and Ben's episode, I will link it in the description so you can see their take as directors on it and what they were thinking of at the time. So you can see the difference in what it is now and what it was then. It was actually a really good interview back then. And we actually did What Is It when I had Grace on talking about it. So you can see the comparison between the 2 games. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone so much for coming on the show. I'm so glad to be back here at Daybreak. I like the new setup a lot. And my hair is back to the way it was a couple seasons ago. It's gotten taller. Like if you look through, it's all the episodes are on like my IGTV page on my Instagram. And if you just look at the thumbnails, you see my hair getting taller and then taller and then taller and then taller. And then when season 4 started, it got down to short because I got a haircut. And then you can see it now getting taller and taller and taller. My friend Abby, who I had on the show a couple of times, called me Tall Hair Nick because I have very tall hair. It's very fluffy. I have very fluffy hair. So it's like Conan's major thing is his orange hair. My major thing is just my super tall and very fluffy hair. So, but anyways, that's way off topic. Thank you everyone so much for watching Daybreak. Thanks for waking up so early. And then it's nice to see a consistent viewer rate of 5 people at 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time at Daybreak. Bye, everybody.